Hey guys, welcome to the video Apache Tomcat server tutorial for beginners with me Nam Haming from codejava.net. Through this video, I will help you understand what Apache Tomcat is about, how to install Apache Tomcat on Windows operating system, understand Tomcat's key directories and files, how to start and stop a Tomcat instance, how to deploy and deploy a Java web application into Tomcat, and run some examples provided by the Tomcat installer. So what is Apache Tomcat? Apache Tomcat is a popular web server for hosting Java web application. It is free and open source. Tomcat supports the following Java technologies: Java Servlet, Java Server Pages or JSP, Java Expression Language or EL, Java WebSocket. Those technologies are under Java Enterprise Edition. And because Apache Tomcat supports Java Servlet, the core technologies in Java EE, it is also called as Servlet container. Apache Tomcat is developed by the Apache Software Foundation, and this is the homepage for Apache Tomcat, tomcat.apache.org. First, I will guide you how to install Apache Tomcat server. First, we need to download Apache Tomcat installer. And the latest version of Apache Tomcat server as of July 2020 is Tomcat version 9 that supports the following versions of Java EE technologies: Servlet 4.0, JSP 2.3, EL 3.0, WebSocket 1.1. And note that Apache Tomcat requires Java 1.8 or later. So before installing Apache Tomcat server, make sure that you have Java 1.8 or newer is installed on the computer. I'm using Windows, so I open the command prompt and type the command java-version, and you see the current Java version on my computer is Java version 1.8.0 update 251 here. Now let's head to the homepage of Apache Tomcat to download its installer program for Windows. So go to tomcat.apache.org, and you see this is the homepage of the Apache Tomcat server. You can see it is managed by the Apache Software Foundation, and you can see in the download section the latest version of Tomcat is Tomcat 10, but it is still in alpha mode, which is not stable. So it is recommended to install Tomcat 9, which is the most stable version. So click Tomcat 9 here. And you can see under the binary distribution section here, for Windows operating system, I recommend to download the installer program for Windows, so we can install Apache Tomcat as a Windows service. So click this hyperlink to download. Download is in progress, and click which version. You can see the technology version supported by which version of Apache Tomcat. As you can see, for the version Apache Tomcat 9.0.x, the supported technology version for Servlet is 4.0, JSP 2.3, EL 3.0, WebSocket 1.1, authentication spec 1.1. Okay, the download has completed and open, so in a folder. And you can see this is the installer program for Apache Tomcat server. And double click to run the installer program. You can see Apache Tomcat setup. Click next. I agree to accept the license agreement, and check to install also the host manager and examples web application. Next, and I recommend you to specify server shutdown bot, so you can start and shut down Apache Tomcat server using command line, using bat files in Windows or script on Linux or Mac. So I specify the server shutdown bot is, for example, 1984. The default port number for web application is 8080. Default Windows service name Tomcat 9, and specify username and password for the Tomcat administrator login. Username admin, password name that. Okay, and click next. And by default, Tomcat will detect the Java runtime environment. Click next and install. Installing Apache Tomcat is very quick and easy. Okay, finished. Uncheck show with me. Uncheck run Apache Tomcat. Finished. And open the program files directory under the driver C, and you can see the directory Apache Software Foundation here, Tomcat 9.0, and this is the installation directory of Apache Tomcat. You see. Next, let's understand the key directories and files in Tomcat installation. The first directory is the bin directory. As you can see, under the Tomcat installation directory, the bin directory here. This directory contains script files for start and shutdown or Apache Tomcat server for Windows. And if you install Apache Tomcat for Linux or Mac, you will see the script files for Linux or Mac here. Here we see only Windows batch file, .bat files, and script on Windows. So when running Apache Tomcat using command line, we can run this script files. And the second directory is conf directory that contains configuration files of the server. The conf directory here contains configuration files of Tomcat, server.xml, web.xml, Tomcat users. So when you want to configure Apache Tomcat server, you need to go to in this directory and update those XML files. And the third directory is lib directory here. The lib directory contains jar files and external libraries. Go in the lib directory and you can see many jar files used by the server and from external libraries. You can see Sublit API, ZSP API, Tomcat API, ER API. And the next directory is the logs. The logs directory contains log files. You can see some log files generated by the server. And the next directory is a temp directory that contains temporary files used by the Java virtual machine, the temp directory. And the next directory is web apps. This is the most important directory that in which we deploy our Java web applications. The web apps directory here, you see. We deploy our Java web applications in this directory, and you can see by default Tomcat installs some default web application for documentation, examples, host manager, and root. Root is for the application of the server homepage. And next is work directory that contains temporary files for deploy web applications. The work file here, when we run deploy web application, temporary files will be created here. So that's the key directories and files in the Tomcat installation. Understand this will help you use Tomcat server effectively. Next, I will show you how to start and stop Tomcat server. Because we installed Tomcat server as a Windows service, so we can start and stop Apache Tomcat as a Windows service, or we can start and stop Tomcat by running the batch files in the bin directory. Now let's start and stop Apache Tomcat using Windows service. In Windows, you open the Task Manager and go to the Services tab, and you can see the service name Tomcat 9 here. Tomcat 9, you can see the Tomcat 9 here. Description Apache Tomcat 9.0 here. Status stopped. So to start Tomcat, you can right click and start service. Access denied because we don't have permission. So you open the services in another window with administrator pre-release, and look for Apache Tomcat 9 here. You can see Apache Tomcat 9. Right click and start. And now the status of Apache Tomcat is started here. And you will see a child icon for Apache Tomcat. We don't see a child icon. I will show you later. But for now, you can know that the status of Apache Tomcat is started running. And now we can access its homepage in a browser. So go to localhost http localhost, and the port number is 8080, which is the port number for HTTP connector we see during the installation. And you can see this is the home page of the Apache Tomcat server. If you are seeing this, you will successfully install Tomcat. Congratulations! And in this home page, you can access the server status, the manage the application to deploy and deploy the web application, or the host manager to manage the virtual host. So click server status, and you can see it requires login. So we provide the username and password, which we specify during the installation. Admin Ninda. And you can see server status here. You can see various information for the Java virtual machine. Go back, and we can also access the manager application, which is used to deploy and start stop Java web application deploy on Apache Tomcat server. And you can see a list of running deployed application on the server here. This is for the Tomcat homepage, Tomcat documentation, examples, host manager application, and the manager application itself. And to stop or shut down the server, you can go to the service manager here, right click and stop the service Apache Tomcat. Stopping, and the status is empty. That means it is not running. And you can also start and stop Apache Tomcat server. Go to the bin directory, go to the program files. In the start menu, you can see the some menu items for Apache Tomcat here. Monitor Tomcat here. Configure Tomcat. Click Monitor Tomcat, and you can see a child icon appears in the taskbar here. That allows us to configure to start and stop the server. Configure and open the configuration dialog for Apache Tomcat, you see. And here we can start and stop the server using this dialog. Start. So this is another way to start and stop Apache Tomcat server. And look at the icon in the system side, and you can see it is updated with a green around here. This means Apache Tomcat server is up and running normally. And to stop, you can just right click on the icon and stop the service. Stopping. That's it. When the server was stopped, you try to access the manager and you got an error, so this time can't be reached. Then go to the system side, and you can see the icon Apache Tomcat is updated with a red icon indicating that it is stopped. So that's how to start and shut down Apache Tomcat using Windows Service or from the programs file menu, Apache Tomcat, the monitor program with the child icon. Now let's exit this Apache Tomcat. Exit. And another way to start and stop Apache Tomcat server is by running script in the bin directory here. Let me open the command prompt here and change the directory to the bin directory of Tomcat here. Okay. And to start the server, you execute the startup batch file here. So in the command branch, just type startup, and you can see the server is starting. You can see there are some logging information in the console, and the last line is server startup in 1253 milliseconds. That means the server is up and running. And when running in using script, no child icon appears in the system child. And go to the logs directory, you can see the log files generated by the server. Let's see this file. You can see some login information. So when you got problem errors, you can see the log files for further information to investigate the bugs, for example, in the logs directory. And to stop Apache Tomcat server in command line, you can type or execute the script in the bin directory. Shut down here. Shut down. I type the command to let you see. Shut down. And you can see the Windows command windows for the server disappear and the server has stopped. That's it. How to start and stop Tomcat using Windows Service and by executing batch files on Windows. Next, I will guide you how to deploy or install a Java web application into Tomcat server. Note that a Java web application should be packed into a file, a Word file. Word file stands for Web Application Resource or Web Application Archive. You see a standard zip file that contains the resources and files for Java web application. And there are two ways to install or deploy a Java web application into Tomcat. The first one is static deploy. In this way, we need to stop the server and copy the Word file of the web application to the web apps directory and then restart the server. The second way is using the Tomcat manager for hot deployment, so we don't have to start and stop the server, which doesn't affect other applications running on the server. Now let me show you how to deploy a Java application into Tomcat using the first method, static deploy. First, we need to download a Word file. So you can go to my website codejava.net or Java tutorials. Submit here. Scroll down and you will see a tutorial for here how to handle HTML form and data with JavaScript. Click on this article and download the Word file at the end of the article. Here there are two files, so download the Word file. The Word file is ready to be deployed on the server. Wait for a moment and the file will be downloaded. Okay, the Word file has been downloaded. So in a folder, and you see it is the Word file here from handling submit.word, standard format for packed web application which can be deployed on a submit container like Apache Tomcat. So copy and paste to the web apps directory of the server. Here you see web apps here, and we paste the Word file here, and you can see the Word file here. And now we start the server. So open the Tomcat monitor programs from the start menu. You see currently the server is stopped, and right click to start service. You see upon startup the server, we explode or extract the Word file here, and you can see a directory form handling submit for the web application here. And in this application it has two JSP, two HTML files, login form and form demo. And now go to the Tomcat manager application, localhost .att manager app, and you can see the web application is listed here with the context path or the URL is /form handling submit. We can access our deploy application by click on this link, open link in a new tab, and we got a 404 error because there's no default indexed file. We need to specify the file name exactly, login form or form demo.html. So I specify the HTML file exactly here, login form.html, and you can see this is a very simple login form. just type username and password, login, and you can see the server response username is admin, the password is hello world. And also let's test another page, form demo.html, and you can see this demonstrates the form handling with Java Servlet. Enter username admin, hello world, speaking language English, French, gender male, feedback, I like programming, is cool, job category technology, education, science. Click submit, and you can see the response from the server displays the values submitted in the form. That means we have successfully deployed and run our first Java web application on Apache Tomcat server. Using the web application manager, you can stop a specific application by click the stop button here. You see. So let me click stop to stop the application form handling servlet and try to refresh this application. You can see not found because it is stopped. Now let's start again. Start. You can this status running is true. Yeah, running true. And refresh this page again, and it goes live. You see. And to undeploy a Java web application on Tomcat, if you have permission to access the web server, you can simply delete the WAV file and the exploded directory of the web application. Delete. Very simple. Yes. And stop the server. Stop service. So with the static deployment method, it is suitable when you have direct access to the server, access the file manager on the server, so you can easily copy WAV file directory to the web apps directory of the server. And the second deployment method is hot deploy using Tomcat manager application. Is suitable when you don't have direct access to the server and you have to deploy web application remotely via a browser. Now let me show you how to deploy Java web application using Tomcat manager. So suppose that we don't have direct access to the server, so we access the Tomcat manager application via the browser. Start the server first. Start. Start service. Okay, suppose that the server is up and running and we are sitting on a remote computer, so we can deploy a Java web application by accessing the manager app provided by Tomcat. This method is suitable when we don't have direct access to the file system of the server. So we can deploy a WAV file here. We can choose a WAV file here. Choose and select a WAV file here and click deploy button here. You can see in the list of applications there's only the default application installed by Tomcat. Click deploy, and you can see the application has been deployed and it appears in the list of application here. And you can see the status is running true, and we can right click on the hyperlink to access the application. And because this application doesn't have a default page, so we need to specify the exact file name which is login for. You see, admin username and password. Hello world. You can see that's how to deploy a Java web application using the Tomcat web application manager. Very easy, right? Just upload a Word file, and the server will extract or explode the Word file. As you can see, refresh this directory, and you can see the Word file uploaded onto the server, and it is extracted to a directory here. And to undeploy, just click the button undeploy here to undeploy a Java web application. Undeploy, and you can see as the application was removed from the server. And you can see in the web app directory, both the Word file and the directory was removed, deleted. And now let me guide you how to run the examples provided by Tomcat installer when you installing Tomcat. If you check to install the example, we will see a web application with the context path examples here, submit and JSP examples. So in the Tomcat web application manager, click examples, and Tomcat provides various examples to help you learn JavaScript, JSP, and WebSocket. Click submit example, and you can see run the hello world, execute hello world, and you can view the source code of the submit, request information. You can see view the source code. Very useful to learn JavaScript and JSP. And also you can try other examples here. So when installing Tomcat, let's check to install examples to learn more about Java web application development. You can see JSP examples here. JSP 2.0 example, basic arithmetic. You can see. You can view the source code. Source code, very useful for learning. Awesome. So far you have learned what Apache Tomcat server is, how to install Apache Tomcat on Windows, understand the key directories and files in Tomcat installation, how to start and stop Tomcat instance using command line and using Windows service or using the Tomcat monitor program, how to deploy and deploy Java application into Tomcat using two methods, static deployment and hot deployment. And finally, I show you how to run some examples provided by the Tomcat installer. I hope you will find this video tutorial helpful. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. Thank you.